everybody. Welcome to the Hallmark Christmas podcast. And we're really excited today. We have one of our favorite Hall stars here. We have Andrew Walker here. And Andrew, thank you so much for
Hello.
coming on.
Thanks so much for having me. Excited to be on.
Yeah, you've been on, I think this is your 5th time, which is very fun.
Look at that. You're not sick of me yet.
No, not yet. So how are things going for you? You and the fam out in Los Angeles? Everything going good?
Yeah, everything could not be going better. Honestly, uh, in all the trials and tribulations in the world right now, our nucleus family, family and my, immediate family, everybody is healthy, happy, and, thankfully we're all in a really good place right now. But fortunately too, I have my in-laws in town, and so that's how my wife and I were able to get away for a little while, which was really nice. The kids were able to spend time with their grandparents, which is always really nice. And the best part is that we say goodbye to them in a week, but then we see them again over the holidays. So
perfect.
I go and shoot, which we'll talk about, I guess, on this, but I go back to Vancouver to shoot again, another one of these Curious Caterer mystery movies. And then right after that, it's Christmas Con, and then back home to Montreal.
Wow, that sounds fun. Plus, you're running your juice business. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, well, I can't really say that I do that anymore. Really, it's my wife that
really
is doing the heavy lifting for that. Look, I'll help out where I can. I'll fill some space in. Every once in a while I'll go down to the office and I'll help pack cases or do a juice drop to a really important customer. But really it's my wife's ball now, and it's she does pretty much everything. She's the CEO of the company and she runs everything right now. And so I have a lot of my fingers, and I dabble in a whole bunch of other little businesses that I got going on. So I don't think I could. Well, I know that I don't have the bandwidth anymore to do what I used to be doing for the juice business.
Well, that's cool though, that she's able to lead the company. That's great.
It's great. Her nor I have business degrees. We've put ourselves through business school with this business over the course of the past 10 years, learned from our mistakes. And she now, I think it's amazing. They say that it's either 10 years or 10,000 hours, I think, before you are like a professional at your, in your field.
Yeah.
And it's been 10 years for us, and probably way over 10,000 hours that she's accumulated in this business. And, now she's kind of a one-stop shop. She knows like all the bottling manufacturers and all the label people and all the produce people and the farmers and the distributors. And so she's just this wealth of knowledge now that it's, all of a sudden you're like, wow, I know a lot of these people. And I guess I could start another business, tapping into these same resources. So it's cool. It's great. It's really amazing to see her just, excel at what she's doing now. But she's got plans for when she's done the business. She's planning on writing a cookbook of some sort. So in a year or so.
Yeah. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, so last year you did my Christmas family tree, and I was just curious how you felt about that, how that all turned out. And did working on that movie make you interested in like learning about your family tree?
Yeah, definitely. And actually, funny enough, I did a DNA test just going back around 8 or 9 months ago, but I've always been curious. And I was very surprised at what the results were when they came back. I'm more Southern European than I am Northern European, but I always thought that I was more Northern European. Mainly British, Irish, a mutt, Scottish, but I guess I have some Italian and Greek. And, I have some of that. I have more of that in me. But yeah, no, how I felt about the movie, look, the cast was incredible. And the subject matter was something that Hallmark has never really, touched on in the past. And so being able to do that, a movie like that was really inspiring,
Yeah.
and I knew that it was going to be special when I came on board, and I saw who the cast was going to be. Obviously, Amy Teagarden is an amazing actress, and she's had a great career, and she's worked with some incredible actors, and James Tupper is unreal. He's an amazing actor. He actually played he was the played the father of one of my best friends in the TV series that she had done, and so I knew of him, and we had been at parties together and stuff. Uh, but no, I loved shooting that movie.
Yeah.
I knew that the one I don't want to say issue, but it was an issue.
Yeah.
The one issue with the script was going to be that DNA test centers they don't make a mistake like that. You know what I mean? That was the only
Yeah.
thing that I was like, well, I don't think that this is going to fly with a lot of the viewers. I don't think we can just but look, it was a small piece of the
Yeah.
movie that I think people look past, and really it was just the message behind the movie was really what made it special. And I think all the characters were played with so much heart, and it was done with
Yeah.
such there was so much presence in their performance, and so
Well,
it
and
was
by the end, it didn't really matter one way or the other. They were gonna,
yeah,
love her as family
exactly.
regardless.
And that's the message,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
So
So, and it was really barely a romance, which was kind of refreshing, actually. I mean,
yeah, you're right.
it was more about the family, which I appreciate.
It was really the family dynamic that was the love story.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Ho, ho, ho. We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies Patreon.
Do you love Hallmarkies podcast, especially at Christmas?
Do you enjoy the holiday previews, recaps, interviews, and bonus episodes?
If the answer is yes, please consider supporting the Hallmarkies Patreon. We need your help to do what we do both during the Christmas season and all year round.
But not only do you help a podcast led by strong, independent women by becoming a Patreon, you get to become a part of the Hallmarkies family.
Starting at only $2 a month as a patron, you will have access to our Facebook Patreon group where we talk about the movies, shows, and more all year.
We also have many monthly patron watch-alongs with guests like Lacey Chabert, Natalie Hall, Paul Campbell, Mary Lou Henner, and more, giving their behind-the-scenes details of their films.
As a patron, you also have the chance to provide input into the podcast and even join us at different tiers.
So this Christmas season, spread some cheer to the Hallmarkies Patreon and become a member today. You won't regret it.
Go to patreon.com/hallmarkies to learn more.
That's patreon.com/Hallmarkies.
You had the first Dying for Chocolate movie, the catering,
Curious Caterer series.
Curious Caterer, that's right, movie this spring. They didn't do that many mysteries this year, so there was one of only, I think there were only 4, maybe 5. There weren't very many mysteries this year, and so it was kind of exciting because we just didn't have that many, and we're always excited to see you and Nikki together. And so what was that? I know you'd done way back, you did another mystery show a while back, but what was that like for you to do a mystery versus doing these rom-coms?
Yeah, I did I think the one you're talking about is I did one for Lifetime. It was Wedding Planner Mystery.
Yes.
Yeah. This one was pretty it was really great to be able to work with Nikki again, but Nikki and I had made the conscious decision that we were like, look, we've already shot 4 movies together. Let's go about this completely different. Nobody wants to see just another Nikki DeLoach, Andrew Walker movie. And also, you go into these mystery wheels where it's, obviously the one I did for Lifetime was not, I was really a secondary character. It wasn't about my story with Erica Durance necessarily.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a bit, but it was more of a secondary character in that. This one, we just, you look, I listened to I listened to an interview with Matthew McConaughey when he was doing the True Detective series, and it was really interesting what he was saying. He said, normally I do a movie, I know where the beginning, middle, and end is. It's an arc, or if you do a TV series, if it's a mini series, kind of where the arc is. It's the same way that I went about approaching this movie, where our love story doesn't play out over that one movie. The love story could play out over 8 parts or 10 parts. This is
Yeah.
an 18 book series, not it's a novel series, so you know we have to play against the normal Hallmark, intuition of just of you know showing that romance, or that budding romance with each other. You want to try to hold it back as much as you possibly can, and keep the I feel like in a lot of these mystery movies, once the two characters get together, it's almost lost its kind of
Yeah.
fire,
Right.
the tension is gone, at
No, I
that
could
point.
see
So
that. I mean, well, I mean, there was Garage Sale Mysteries where they were married, and she was started out married, so that wasn't as much. But then, yeah, I could see that with like Aurora Tea Garden, once they got married, or some of the others. There's not that many where they actually, usually it's like right at the end, they finally get them together because of what you're saying, and that will they won't they is fun.
yeah, exactly. So and also my character, I wanted to play him a little more, rough around the edges, and a little more cynical, and just he's fresh off of this divorce, and moving from San Francisco, and and seeing a lot of bad things in his career, so he's a guy that's been beaten down a bit. And um but I think the one of the best characters in the Curious Caterer, in the first in what's going to be hopefully a long series, is this Mason character, the actor who plays Mason, my right hand detective, the guy that's like learning the ropes, this rookie, and he's so funny, and he's super talented, and so he's kind of like the secret weapon in these movies. I think
Mm.
he's got a long way to go, but no, this series is kind of a dream. It's a dream come true. Nikki and I both have a great work ethic. We go about our approach to these to these movies the same way. We try to put as much work into the prep as we possibly can, and so we're already in communication about how we're going to go about this second installment.
Well, we're definitely looking forward to it too. Yeah, great cast in there. You've got Antonio Caon, who we love, is in there. And yeah, a
Yeah.
bunch of really fun Aaron Boyce. Really great group. So
Oh yeah.
it'll be fun to see what they come up with next. I
Yeah.
didn't even realize that it was a book based on books.
Yep. Based on books.
Yeah, there you go. So okay. Well, do you have of all the movies you've done with Nikki, do you have a favorite that you think's the best one?
I you know I think A Dream of Christmas is probably my favorite. Um,
Yeah.
I really enjoyed playing A Perfect Catch. I'm an athlete. I grew up playing football, and it's every kid's dream to play pro of some, in some sport, and
Yeah.
so to play a professional baseball player on screen was a lot of fun in Perfect Catch.
That one's
Um,
probably my favorite of the two of you. I
a
I
Perfect
love when
Catch.
yes, I love when you make your pros and cons list.
Oh yeah,
That's very swoon worthy to me.
yeah.
I like that. I mean, my favorite of your movies is Snowed in Christmas for sure.
Yeah,
It's so
yeah,
good.
that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hopefully to be replaced with Three Wise Men. We'll see.
Yes, probably. But I mean, it's gonna be hard to top it when you did a music video for it. Like that was so cool.
Well, there's a few surprises in Three Wise Men that
Ooh.
you're going to be, I think, pleasantly surprised. to
Well, that's
see.
exciting.
We're
Well,
we do some things in that
oh,
movie.
cool. Well, yeah. So with last year, you all were doing like cameos in each other's movies. How did that all happen?
Yeah, we just well, I don't know how the other cameos happened, but
So like
the
you were
cameo
in Tyler's
Tyler's
movie, Tyler was
unexpected.
in
Yeah,
your movie, and then Paul Campbell did one. I can't remember all the rest, but yeah,
yeah. I think he did with Kimberly, or maybe
something like
or
that. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, all like the usual suspects, being in each other's movies.
It was fun.
um, yeah, no. So Hallmark supported it, which was, that was, we needed them to be able to say, yeah, guys, go, go do it. But then it was another thing coordinating when we were on set, because our first, AD, Tyler's first AD and my first AD on my Christmas family tree, and they have their schedule put in place, and then now we're throwing them a curveball and saying, hey, can you make sure that I'm able to leave set and go work a half day on Tyler's set, and vice versa. So I think we were kind of, just, throwing a wrench a little bit in the like in the cogs in the machine, in the
Yeah,
wheel,
yeah.
in the cogs of the wheel. But yeah, we just had to stay on top of the ads and just make sure that we were able to do it, because there was a lot of planning to make sure that we were able to get the time off to go on, to get on each other's sets. But finally, after Tyler and I dug into the script enough, and also our days, getting our, which days work the best, and then getting our two first ads to communicate to each other, we were able to get it all done. And I'm so happy we did, because I think it fans had
It
a lot of
was
fun.
really fun. It was really
Yeah,
fun.
fans had a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
Twitter went nuts.
They
It's
went
like, "Wow."
nuts.
Yeah. So that was
And I think there's
good.
more. There's going to be more of those in the
Yes.
future.
Good.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Pilot Podcast. My name is BJ.
And my name is Me Too, and we promise this promo is worth it, so please don't skip ahead.
We're two judgy friends who put our judgmental skills to work for you. We review the pilot episodes of new and popular shows, and shows that our listeners request to answer your question, should I watch this?
Look, a lot of us are spending a lot more time at home, and yes, we should be reading and trying new projects and enriching ourselves, but does anything beat binging a great show?
Let us take the guesswork out of deciding what your next show will be. Tune in to The Pilot Podcast at thepilotpodcast.com.
So we're really excited about this Three Wise Men and a Baby. For
Are
a
you?
long time on the podcast, we kept saying that they needed to make a Firehouse movie with all the Hallmark guys. And so I feel like this is like basically close. It's basically that. The idea is that they weren't using the guys, the Hallmark hunks, as to their full potential. And I realize that usually these movies are female led, but they have y'all have such fan bases that it just seemed like such a great idea. So we were all very excited when we heard about it.
So was I. I just feel fortunate to be a part of it.
Yeah.
But you get, you don't get all the Hallmark hunks in the fire station. You just get
It's
measly
close.
old me. It's just me.
No.
But no, it's I'm really excited, and very excited for people to see this movie. And and we're definitely we're going to go deeper into this, on a later episode. But yeah, there's lots of tales to tell from shooting that movie. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun to talk about it once the movie airs, and people are going to have that many more questions, like, how did that happen? And how long did it take you guys to figure out this, and X, Y, and Z. And so I'll tell you what, it's great to have your writer on as one of your castmates.
Yes. Yeah, that adds a whole nother layer, because Kimberly and Paul wrote it, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Amazing. Or, I mean, we said in our preview that because the highest preview rating we can give is a diamond ring, and we're like, who that's a Hallmark fan wouldn't give a diamond ring to this? Like, come on.
Yeah. No, Kimberly and Paul are arguably like two of the better writers right now for Hallmark. They're really doing cutting edge stuff, and pushing the limits on the stories they tell and the jokes and a lot of heart. Like, just there's a lot of there was, I guess, the contrasts, between like the dramatic moments and the comedy beats and stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what was it like filming a movie with two other male leads versus the female leads? Was that sort of a different dynamic at all, or the
Yeah,
same?
I think so. I
Yeah.
can't pinpoint it, but it's definitely a different dynamic.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're a little, we're a little bit more crass with each other, I guess. It's like a little, we're just, yeah, we spent a lot of time together. I think, when you, I think that's the familiarity though of being around. Tyler. I've known him since I've known my wife, 19 years. So
Yeah.
um,
Because Tyler
so
is your wife's cousin, right?
yes, yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
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 So I could just, it's just easy. It's just like, okay, I'm gonna eat by myself, or I'm not gonna eat by myself. But we just hung out, and we was just like sitting with family.
Do you all know if you're going to be able to live tweet it?
Yes, for sure, for sure. I mean, I will be live tweeting,
Yeah.
and I'm hopefully going to be with one of the guys too, potentially. We'll see. We'll see
Yeah.
how it all works out. But yeah, we will.
Well, we wanted to also tell you that our merch for this holiday season, we are embracing this movie, and we have Team Andrew, Team Paul, Team Tyler shirts that are that are out there. So don't be surprised if on social media you see a Team Andrew out there.
Oh boy, oh boy. Well, I know all the heinies. All the heinies are going to be all team Tylered up.
Yes. So, well, let's talk about Maple Valley Christmas. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the movie?
Yes, just being able to be in a movie like Maple Valley Christmas as opposed to Three Wise Men, because Three Wise Men was on the comedy scale.
Yeah.
It was much more of a single camera comedy style film. But Maple Valley was probably one of the more dramatic, and also more, I guess,
Yeah. Well, it's a
intense love
miracle of
stories.
Christmas, right?
It's a miracle of
Movie, yeah.
Christmas. Yeah. It's a real intense love story, really beautiful love story of these two people that fall for each other really quickly. Actually, like when I read the script initially, the the first kiss happens faster in this movie than any other
Ooh.
movie that I've done before. So
Uh-huh.
having to navigate that in a way that's not going to make people, turn people off a little bit in how,
Uh-huh.
quick we're moving into, or like committing to it, was a little, well, not tricky, but we had to definitely have some dialogue, and talk
Yeah.
it through, figure out how it would work. But like life, I mean, when and
Yeah.
it's one of those movies where, I knew when I met my wife, I knew immediately, like after the first date, I was like, oh my gosh, like I've been single for 2 months now. I thought I was going to be single for at least, a year or so. I got out of a really long relationship, but I knew. And just like in this movie and Peyton List, the girl who plays Erica in this movie, um, she's a rancher, and Peyton is like the perfect look for this girl. And she is, she's brand new to the Hallmark world, and she brings something different. And she's just, she's a beautiful spirited person. And she was really fun to play opposite from in this character. And I think she brings a lot of mystery to this girl, and she carries the burden of the family of this maple farm that she's going to be inheriting with her sister. And basically her and her sister are having to work through some business, some quarrels that they're having, and some indifferences in how the business should move forward. And so, my character comes in and kind of she doesn't expect to fall for a guy just coming in like this out of nowhere. Basically, the movie is about my character's a real estate developer, the son of a real estate developer. Aaron Davenport is my character's name. I am sent to this little town to survey this property that's been put up on, put for sale in the market, that's next door, that's neighboring this maple syrup farm. Now, the issue is that the family that owns the maple syrup farm had sold this property a long time ago when they were in some financial troubles to this guy that is now selling it, but it's a family business that he's selling. So he still has fiduciary responsibilities to get the highest bid on the property for his family and for his investors and stuff like that. So he's apologetic, but he says, look, I got to put the property on the market, but you guys can get first dibs, talking about the maple syrup family. You guys can get first dibs, but I'm coming in and I'm trying to, get this deal done for my dad. The plot now is that my dad and I are, we've not seen eye to eye for years. I am, I've never lived up to his expectations. And that's a whole other side to this movie that I really loved exploring, because, I've had a great relationship with my father. But obviously I think like sons and fathers, there is that struggle sometimes, just like moms and daughters.
Yeah.
And, I think it's just like what happens, whether you're a human, like whether you're a person or an animal, it's just like the testosterone and that, like, it's just, it can be combative,
Yeah.
and my father in this movie, this guy, great actor, who plays my father. And he brings a lot of this, like this gusto, this hardened businessman who's only out for the bottom dollar, and he just wants to cut deals. And so, and I have my differences, differences with him. And we,
Yeah. In the trailer, he says to lean on them hard.
Says to lean on them. And that's like,
yeah,
in the trailer, they don't show, there's some real arguments that we have, in this movie. And I've never done that with a father figure in any one of these movies. So, so you get this really, intense love story playing out alongside of this father-son turmoil that's being, that's also being told. And Peyton's character Erica is kind of bringing me through trying to get this out of me, like she's trying to figure out, she's like almost like, it's like therapy, this, like, she's trying to make me see, make me realize whether is this what I want to be doing. And I'm doing the same thing to her. We're like each other's reflections, you know what I mean? And so, and then there's the difficulty that we're also really madly in love with each other. So,
Well, this felt very, at least in the preview watching, felt very old school Hallmark to me, with the guy from the city coming in and the girl, and not wanting to sell her house, and like those kinds of elements to me feel very old school, which is kind of nice. Like, I like all the changes, but then it's also nice that every once in a while there's one that's like, oh yeah, that's the secret sauce that got me invested to begin with, So. And I love Joa Boken, who's one of the writers. She's one of my favorites. So that, that makes me interested. But one question we all had is, it looked a little fall harvesty rather than Christmassy with all the leaves and everything. So can you confirm that this movie has a lot of Christmas going on?
Oh yeah, it's got yeah, no, you're gonna get your Christmas filth in this movie for sure. I think it's it definitely has that. It's because I think you see that from the poster too. It's about a maple syrup farm, so you get the maple leaves in there as well. And I think that's what's a little confusing about it. But you do get a lot of Christmas in this movie. Is it the most Christmas in a movie I've ever done? No, but it's a good, you're gonna
Gonna
feel
have the
like it is
feels.
Christmas. You're gonna get all the feels of Christmas for
Okay,
sure.
good. That's good.
Yeah, we did shoot this at a time of year though. We shot this in Vancouver during one of the worst heat waves that I've ever been in
Oh
Vancouver.
no.
And I was on horseback, and I was wearing a three-piece suit with a jacket, with a scarf. The horse is radiating heat. And so it was just like, it was the hottest I've ever
Oh
been.
man.
I think I was like fully sweat out. Like I had no more to give. I had ice packs down my front of my shirt, the
Yeah.
back of my shirt. So I
I've
have a
heard they
nice
do
little
that with the
glisten.
ice packs.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Oof.
have a nice little glisten in throughout this whole entire movie. All the outdoor scenes.
Have you ever done a movie where you had to ride a horse, or is was this new to you?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. No, I've done, actually been fortunate to do, I did 3 back-to-back Westerns a bunch of years ago.
Oh.
I did one called The Way of the West, which was about a Mountie. It was shot in the Yukon, and I had an amazing horse wrangler there that I was working with that took me out for 2 weeks before we started shooting the movie, because my character, I was on horseback a lot in that movie. She was incredible. She was like a horse whisperer. She rode bareback. She would like just hold the mane and she took me out into like the backwoods of the Yukon, and was teaching me all these tricks about how to, calm down how to like keep myself calm as well on the back of a horse. But an interesting thing that she told me that I carried forward in all the rest of the movies I did on horseback was that if you're nervous and you breathe out, if you just take a deep breath in and then you breathe out like this, a second later, the horse will do the same thing. It'll go like this. It'll breathe out. So it'll feel your energy releasing. When you think of a horse and you think of a fly landing on its back haunch, it just shakes that one muscle to get the fly off. It's so sensitive, and I
Yeah.
didn't realize that about horses. I did a series back when I was 18 years old in Montreal called Back to Sherwood. That was the first time that I was on horseback, and I was battling it. Like I was not at one with the horse. Like I was really we did not have a good relationship. He was a young horse. I think we were both just like, trying to like see who was the dominant one. And so once I learned through this girl. Then I did 2 more Westerns that were in Tombstone, Arizona. Totally different guy that I learned from there. Quintessential cowboy. His name is Brent Rock. He always had a little flask of Jack Daniels on his hip. Smoked Marlboro Reds, and he talked like this. Brent Rock. My name's Brent Rock. He had this mustache. Always wore the cowboy hat, Stetson. And anyways, Brent and I became good friends. And he told me at the end of my second movie, he goes, Andrew, you might have been a cowboy in a past life, he said to me. And he's like, anytime you want to come out here and ride horses again, just let me know. And I called him about 6 months later and I said, hey, Brent, I'm going to be doing a bachelor party. I have about 11 friends of mine that want to go ride horseback in Tombstone. Can I bring them out? Can we do a bachelor party there? And he's like, absolutely. I'll set it up.
Oh my
He
gosh.
set us up with this incredible bachelor party. And he had 11 horses with a donkey, like a pack donkey that carried all of our beer in there. And he took us out through the Cochise mountain range. And that was the last area that Geronimo held off the cavalry. And so there's like all these hieroglyphics in the mountains. And he did a full tour, 3 days that he took us through that whole area. Then we rented a house in Airbnb and just hung out in Tombstone for a few days. It was great. It was like super memorable.
Oh,
But
that sounds good.
now I
Yeah.
love horses.
It's like
Now I
City
love horses.
Slickers, but for real.
Exactly. Oh yeah.
Very
All my
cool.
friends couldn't walk for a week and a half
Yeah, I
afterwards.
bet. I don't know much about horses except for the fact that I've covered 15 seasons of Heartland. That's the only thing I know about
Oh wow.
horses. Yeah. But they are incredible animals. There's no doubt about
Incredible
that.
animals. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, a lot that we don't know about them,
Mhm.
that I learned throughout the years, but a lot more than I still want to know.
yeah, cool.
We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies merch store.
Are you looking for that perfect gift for the postable, hardy, or Hallmarky in your life?
What about getting that t-shirt or hoodie that will help you stand out at your next holiday party?
Now is the time to check out the Hallmarkies merch store.
Full of festive designs by artists like Jessica Miller, Carrie from Hallmark Comics, and more.
You can even have more than just shirts, but totes, cell phone cases, notebooks, mugs, and more.
And it isn't just Hallmark. We have designs for Anna Green Gables, Man from Snowy River, The Nanny, and more.
Every purchase at the merch store goes to help support the podcast and allows us to make the great content you know and love.
There are frequent sales, so go to tpublic.com/stores/hallmarkies or see the link in the description.
That's tpublic.com/stores/hallmarkies.
I'd like to end with some fun, silly questions. So we got the holiday questions for you today. And the first one is, what is your favorite holiday drink?
Ooh, I'd have to say my in-laws eggnog. It's got about 6 different types of alcohol in it, and it's a 2-day event. Yeah, they whip up the egg whites the night before and put it out in the snow in Montreal overnight. Yeah, no, it's real eggnog. It's like the real stuff.
Yeah. All right. What is your favorite holiday cookie or treat?
Holiday cookie or treat? That's a good question. I love like the peppermint chocolate bars. Like there's like Nanaimo, or what do they call them?
Yeah.
Peppermint New York specials, I think they're called. New York specials. Good. Yeah. It's like a peppermint chocolate.
Okay. What's your favorite Christmas song or carol?
Favorite Christmas song? I flip-flop with this, but I got two. I think they're tied. It's Wham's Last Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that one. And I also like the Vince Guaraldi trio, O Tenenbaum. It's like a jazzy.
Yeah, Charlie Brown. That's great.
Yeah, Charlie Brown, exactly.
Well, what is your favorite classic Christmas movie?
Home Alone, I'd say.
Yeah, that one's a fun one.
Home Alone.
Mm-hmm. Okay, which do you like better, Scrooge or the Grinch?
Scrooge.
Okay, good.
Scrooge.
Clear lights or colored?
Clear.
Okay. Would you rather be in a snowball fight or build a snowman?
Snowball fight.
Okay. Do you consider yourself a good gift wrapper or not?
Yeah, pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good for a man.
Yeah.
Pretty good for a male.
Okay, good. Last question. Do you have an ugly Christmas sweater?
I have many.
Oh. What's your ugliest of your ugly Christmas sweaters, or most memorable?
It was like a vest. It was like a vest one that I got just because it's just like an ugly, like it's not nice looking.
Right.
It's green with candy cane trimmings all around it. It's got two big candy canes on the side here, but it's a Christmas vest.
Yeah, that sounds good. All right, you did it. You answered all the questions. But thank you so much for coming on and talking with us. And we're really excited for both of your upcoming movies. Well, all three of your upcoming movies with the new Curious Caterer. So that should be super fun. And so thank you so much for talking with us.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. Always.
And do you have social media you want to share real quick?
Yeah, sure. A walk with 2Ks 35 on Instagram. A walk with 1K 35 for Twitter.
Great. We'll have that all in the description. And hope you all have a very Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
We'd like to thank Andrew for coming on the podcast. This was a lot of fun. So let us know what you think about all the things we talked about. And you can find me at Rachel's Reviews, all of our social media, iTunes, YouTube, and on Rotten Tomatoes. So check that out. Also, make sure you're following the podcast at Hallmarkies Pod and Hallmarkies Podcast, all of our social media. And if you are listening on iTunes, please leave your ratings and reviews. It really helps us a lot for people to be able to find the podcast, particularly during these holiday times. And if you are watching on YouTube, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. We appreciate that so much. We also have our Patreon group, which is a ton of fun, and our merch store, which has those Team Andrew shirts. If you want to support your man, check out the merch store. We would sure appreciate it. So thanks so much, everybody. We'll talk to you later. Bye. Merry Christmas.